Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been waiting for some more information on this subject, which is Putin attending the BRICS Summit in South Africa in August, and there were all kind of noise. South Africa asked Russia to send foreign minister Lavrov instead of sending Putin, in order to avoid any problems with the International Criminal Court that South Africa is a signatory of. There was some noise a few days ago, and I was like, wait a little bit. Then it was another noise that supposedly Russia told South Africa, according to the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, that arresting Putin in South Africa during the BRICS Summit would be a declaration of war. And that was another one I was like, So now, and a lot of people say, well, Putin will not go there. Let's see. Now I have here an article coming from the Ukrainians and clarifies a little bit certain things. Why? Because the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, came out and said, well, this is how things are. So, let's see. On the other hand, if you remember, Ramaphosa said that he's not going to arrest a foreign leader. Obviously, that was a few days ago. Now, Russia made it clear that Putin's arrest will be considered, quote-unquote, declaration of war, South African president. Cyril Ramaphosa, president of the South African Republic, has said that Russia hinted at the potentially negative consequences of Vladimir Putin's arrest on the warrant of the International Criminal Court if he arrives in August at the BRICS Summit. Ramaphosa explained it to the court of the South African city of Gauteng, which considered granting Putin immunity from arrest. The South African president's statement for the court was sent back in May, and he insisted on its confidentiality. But earlier on Tuesday, the Gauteng High Court ordered the publication of Ramaphosa's words upon the request of the opposition Democratic Alliance Party. And here is the quote. Russia has made clear that arresting its incumbent would be a declaration of war. Taking risks and going to war with Russia is against our constitution, end quote, Ramaphosa said. Specifically with Russia or in general, going to war with someone is against its constitution, their constitution. He also told the court that South Africa had begun consultations with the International Criminal Court under Article 97 of the Rome Statute, which are initiated in the event of a problem which, and I'm quoting, could potentially prevent or make impossible the implementation of the ICC request, end quote. South Africa ratified the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, which issued a warrant for Putin's arrest in March, suspecting his involvement in the mass deportation of Ukrainian children from occupied territories. Despite this, Ramaphosa has publicly stated that he expects the participation of the Russian president at the BRICS Summit in August, and I would add, in person. That's what he said. Ramaphosa requested that the Russian delegation at the BRICS Summit in August be headed by Sergei Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, instead of President Vladimir Putin. Paul Mashatile, Deputy President of South Africa, reported that the request had been denied. All right, well, I think the Russians are, they want to make a point to the whole world that we're going to behave as a world power, and we are not, I would say, intimidated by that International Criminal Court of The Hague, which is not a United Nations organization, is just an international organization, which I gave you many times this analogy or example. In Kyokushin Karate, martial art that I practice, was one piece, one international, one organization, until the founder, Masatsu Sosai Oyama, died in 1993, I think, or 1994, one of these two. Oh, it's sacrilege? Okay. So, when he died, the organization splintered in 2, in 3, in 4, and right now I can't even know how many organizations, international organizations, recognized. I don't know, like I would say 10 at least. I know about 7, I know. So let's say 7. Each organization, it's an international organization. They all have their own competitions, their own belt grading, everything is on their own. And they don't recognize one another. That means if I'm a world champion in this organization, I'm not considered or valid in another world organization. And they're all international organizations like ICC. So that's an ICC, formed by a group of countries, and they agree to that or not. That's all what it is. So don't make too much of a big deal about the International Criminal Court. And that's not with the one that United Nations has. It's a different one. So nevertheless, South Africa is a signatory, so we should, do what is required to do, arrest Putin. Now, if we were to believe in the, rule-based world order that these guys are telling us, then a lot of other people should be arrested and sent to a certain kind of ICC court in The Hague. I can think of at least 2. One would be former US President William Clinton, or Billy, and the other one will be Sir, what's his name? Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, for the invasions of some countries. And maybe could be also George W. Bush Jr., Dick Cheney is still alive, and others, okay? They were supposed to. But USA is not a signatory of the ICC court, neither is Russia, India, China, and many other countries. So nevertheless, Putin, I think, wants to make South Africa show everybody, well, we are on this side, this guy is important, we are on the BRICS side. ICC, why? Because this is a daring game. I dare you not to arrest Putin. I dare you, Putin, to show up in South Africa. Remember, there were some weasel countries, like, for instance, I'm not, let's say politicians, not countries, but politicians from countries very small and very not strong, like Austria, for instance. I think they said, if Putin shows up in Austria, we will definitely arrest him. Really. And then you will cease to exist as a country and a nation. But anyway, I heard all kind of countries, if they show, like Lithuania, if they show up here, we're going to arrest him. Okay, 2.8 million people population. Yeah, Putin is going to avoid you. He's scared to death. But anyway, I think that's what it is here. Will Putin show up in South Africa? I give it 50-50. For many, many reasons. Security reasons, not because of this. For the ICC court warrant, 0 concerns on my part. I think he doesn't give a damn about it. He knows he will not be arrested. And that's South Africa's problem from the Russian side. That's what it is. His issues, I think, it's with leaving the country alone in Moscow over there, being, with all kind of schemers over there. So that's one. And the other one is safety concerns. Flying back and forth and BBB, that's going to be too long of a flight. I was about to say drive, but anyway, maybe drive too. So here it is, my friends. They will not arrest him. But at least we know that the Russians told them that's going to be a declaration of war. Now, can they put that in place? I mean, can they do something? Let's say I declare war to South Africa. I think that if such a thing occurred, I don't think they will. I don't even want to think about it. I mean, it's really, I think it's stupid to even think about it that those guys will arrest Putin. Because anyway, what would happen? I think the Russians will just commit war crime then. Let's put it this way, mildly. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.